Hey, what's going on? This is going to be a quick and dirty demonstration of some software that I made recently. Um, I don't think that this will be a complete introduction, but I hope at least that this video is enough to ask the right questions and get a conversation going. So I hope this will just be like a nice preview or introduction. Please give me whatever questions you have and let's talk about it further. So let's start by sharing my screen. Hopefully you can see all that. Okay. So I want to show you the software that I made. Right. It's going to be a little bit busy, but let's take a look. Okay. So what we have here is a screen with 3 panels. You might notice that my video is in the corner, and yeah, that's intended. That's part of this, right? So part of my software, this web page, includes a Jitsi meeting. That's part of the plan. Um, this was designed, intended for a presentation, right? So the idea would be in this corner here, we have the Jitsi meeting where all the attendees of the meeting can join. Very similar to like a Zoom meeting, but what's really nice is that this little meeting, this is an iframe with a very programmable API. So in this case, I really haven't done a whole lot to leverage the API yet, but there's a lot of possibilities to add extra buttons in here for extra features. So say you wanted to start recording, or I don't know, change the view from like something like a tile view or something like that. But even things like, I don't know, muting and unmuting, things like that. Um, new buttons could be created that are connected to the iframe API. So on top of the benefits that exist right now with Jitsi being open and you don't need a login to use it, it's also very programmable. So that's a really nice thing. Then moving up here, we have a slideshow. This is a slideshow made with Reveal.js. And this one's just super basic. It's really basic to, this is a proof of concept. But to really kind of show off what it can do, um, this slideshow that you see, the user can move around, and of course it's text, right? This slideshow is not images, so it's not being sent over as pixels, it's being sent over as text. The user can control this, but how this would ideally work in practice, the idea would be that by using a second controlling slideshow, like there'd be like a master slideshow, the presenter would change slides. And did you see what just happened? When the master changes slides, then the viewer slide change as well. So the viewer can always go back to a slide, and it doesn't change the master slide. But when the master slide gets changed, suddenly the viewer gets zoomed over to the new slide. So again, all of this is text, right? The viewers would be able to not just see the slides like normally in a view, normally in a Zoom meeting, you're seeing the slides, but it's always being sent over as video pixel data being compressed, just like my video is being compressed right now. It doesn't always look good, but most importantly, you can't select the text like you can here. And secondly, you can't go back, right? Here, with these slides, you can go back and look at a previous slide. So like, wait, what was that last one? You can go back and look at it and highlight it and interact. Again, I've really only scratched the surface of like what's possible here with Reveal.js, because there's a lot more stuff that can be embedded in here. Video can be embedded in here. Other iframes can be embedded in there. There's so much possible that hasn't really been explored here in this demo as far as what's possible with Reveal.js, but it's very, very comprehensive. There's a lot of possibilities available there. And then finally, this main frame on the left 60% of the screen. This is a simplified version of Replit. So it's from Replit, but it's kind of the embedded version, which looks a little bit different than what you normally see. For example, let me show you what you would normally see. Let's hope my computer keeps up with all this work. But yeah, so just for a reminder, the familiar view that you normally see with Replit is the different columns, right? There's the files column and some other things like version control. Then there's the document that you're editing, and then over here, we got like a little preview. There's a lot of different windows going on over here. Here, it's the same environment, same files, but just a simplified user experience. Might be simpler for presenter, the audience to work with, especially if they've never worked in here before, and there's just like less going on. But an interesting thing, because it's shared, right? If I go over into the console here, right, and I just, let's see, I want to fit these both on the screen at the same time. So I'll put this to the left here, and this I'll kind of put over to the side. Okay, watch now. In these two windows that are on my screen at the same time. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Hang on just a moment, because I haven't been. I hope I've been sharing my screen. I hope you've been seeing this. We're going to find out. We're going to find out if this is being recorded, but hopefully this is all being recorded. I'm losing my confidence in this video. Don't make me doubt myself, Jitsi. Okay, hopefully this is being recorded properly. Anyway, back to where we were. The two Replit windows, one is in a frame over here, right? If I go over here, the two are linked. So when I stop this one is stopped as well. And interestingly enough, if I run some commands, like, you can actually see me typing over there, echo hello world. You can see my typing. So this could be a really incredible way to share with other people by having like an environment that all are linked in. Now, really, to make that possible, what you need is the multiplayer, right? And sorry, I'm just clicking wildly on things. Yeah, to create a multiplayer REPL, I don't know. What we need, lost my train of thought. By making any normal REPL a multiplayer REPL, we can then invite other people in, other REPL users, and have one shared environment. However, that's not always the default way to use a REPL. Usually, if you try to open a REPL, you get your own copy of the environment using your account. The Replit website makes your own instance, right? So getting your own sandboxed private instance. It's not really private because people can see what you're doing, but they can't touch what you're doing. It's just read only, right? That's the default behavior, that you have your own and it's not multiplayer. So what we have here, getting back to my software, we have these two tabs here, and this isn't exactly going to demonstrate my point, but you kind of have to just use your imagination a little bit. What you can do when this is working is that you would have two versions. One is the multiplayer, indicated by the two heads here, and one is the solo, right? So you'd have one environment that is yours alone, and one that is shared, right? The only reason it's not doing both of these right now is because right now it's just opening up two totally different REPLs, not the same project with different permissions. To do that's just gonna require like just a few hurdles that I haven't engineered yet. I don't think it's like outside the realm of possibility. I just haven't gotten that far. So instead for this demo, it's just showing two totally different REPLs instead of two versions of one project. But the idea is there, if you can imagine it, that by just simply flipping between these tabs, you either got your own private environment, private because no one touches it, but people can see, people can still see, it's public to view, your own environment or the shared environment. And that again would be really useful for the purposes of a participation event, because as I showed, you could have one environment where other people are in here doing things. But then if you want to do something independent or in your own space, you just flip over to here, and now you have your own space that no one's in. So you can kind of pop in and out of the shared space. And that's the idea of how that would work. The last thing to demo, would be how to use this app with different presentations, different meetings, different REPLs. It basically all works from the address bar, right? So let's dig into the code just a bit. In fact, let's do it here. Let's do it in here. Okay, so this is stream. Okay, and we scroll down a little bit. Here it is. This is the list of parameters, right? And these would just go up in the URL. And if you wanted to do like Jitsi room, then you'd put like the URL of it. And if you added another one, slides path, this would be the URL here. And this is like dummy text, but you kind of get the idea that everything is going into the URL of the entire app, right? So in theory, what you would do when you want to use this to share with other people, share your meeting, you would create your Jitsi meeting and have a URL of the Jitsi meeting, and that would go into the URL here. Same for the slides. The slides would have a URL, and same for the two REPL windows, right? Because in total there's 4, right? 1, 2 REPL, 1 Jitsi window, 1 slides window. So four 4 frames, 4 parameters, 4 URLs, and they would all go in there. And then this would become like the URL that you share with other people to join the meeting. You could use like a URL shortening service, or if you want to have some kind of other blog that contained the link, you could contain the link. How does this? You could put the link in a very simple page and just have people click on the link instead of sending the whole thing to them. Lots of different ways to make this work, but the idea would be that all the configuration would be in the URL itself. So it should be very easy to distribute, right? So in a nutshell, that's it. That's this app that I was coming up with. I really wanted to use this for our presentation that we did months back, but it just wasn't ready. It was like 95% ready, which broke my heart, but I couldn't get it ready in time. So we ended up going a different route, but the software still exists. And frankly, I think it's, what do I say? I think it would work for other projects, other presentations. So I'm very happy to open source this and release the documentation and all of that, especially if anyone shows an interest in wanting to use it. Like everything else in my life, it all kind of depends on priority. So if anybody shows an interest in wanting to use this, I'll respond in kind with whatever documentation is needed or whatever helps to distribute it. But right now, no one really even knows it exists. It just kind of is here. But anyway, yeah, that's my little presentation. So thank you for joining my TED Talk. We'll hope this recorded, and if it did record, then you will watch this. Okay, thanks.